Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show. And today we are learning something amazing. Please stay tuned and share on your Facebook profiles and let everybody know that we are here talking about self-assessment. We'll be answering the question of what is self-assessment? What does it entail? What does it involve? Why do you need to do any of those things for yourself? So I want to take this moment to welcome each and every one of you to this amazing conversation where we are talking about self-assessment. Oh my goodness, today I am on my own. So my co-host isn't here in the background clicking things for me. I'll be clicking them for myself. So you will excuse me when I look away to just do 1, 2, 3 things. So we are talking about the importance of self-assessment. Have you ever sat back in your life and asked yourself, how far am I in life? What was my dream? What was my goal? What was my aspiration in life? And you looked at it at a deep level. You actually sat down, took a notebook, and wrote everything down. I'm very inspired by scripture as I talk about self-assessment today because the Bible says that write your vision down, write your dreams down. How many of us in this life we are living in today have ever actually written their dreams down and jotted down their visions of where they want to be, within what period of time, and how far do they want to be at a particular time? But the question comes down to you and you ask yourself, isn't that why people are committing suicide as a result? Because they had set a certain goal in their lives and they thought by the time they're 21, they'll have started a big business. Boom, they'll be making millions and driving a V8. They thought by the time they're 25, they'll have married a beautiful woman. And by the time they're 28, they have 3 beautiful, amazing children. By the time they're maybe 40, they'll be living in their own house, debt-free. You know, those kind of assessment. Those are not the things we are learning today or the things we are talking about today. So I want you to go to the comment section and let me know, what do you understand self-assessment to be? When you hear the word self-assessment, what comes to your mind? What narrative begins to run through your mind? What stands out for you? What remains with you? And what focuses with you? So I want to talk about the first thing about self-assessment. When it comes to self-assessment, what we are looking to look at is our line of thought. There's somebody who said that the mind is a powerhouse. There's a lot in your mind. Your mind defines who you are. It shapes who you will be in the future, where you're going, what's going to happen to you, because the mind is a powerful thing. If you think you're poor, you'll constantly be poor, even if you have opportunities to make a great deal out of yourself. And I want to give you a practical example. Have you ever noticed in this life that we're living today, the people who are most privileged, the people who have families that are connected, the dynasty families, the people who they have a heads up in life, if I may put it that way. They have something going on already. Their fathers had bought very prime properties. They had built amazing flats and everything. These guys never really go anywhere in their lives. These guys are the ones who, when their parents pass on, they fight on for everything that was left. If one of their uncles happens to have done something in their lives and built big houses or even gotten a lot of assets and had a lot of money in the bank, what normally happens when this uncle dies, the whole family comes out and goes to court and says, we are dependent of this person. We used to count on this person for our daily bread, for everything we ate and everything we drank. We depended on this person. You wonder why the people who seem to have an opportunity in life are the ones who don't make much of themselves. It's the line of thought. Think about what we think about. What do you think about when you wake up in the morning? Is your first instinct to go on Instagram and check how many likes you got for the photos you posted yesterday? If you go out in the morning, what is the first thought in your mind? Are you looking for opportunities to steal? Are you looking for opportunities to oppress? Are you looking for opportunities to just be a nuisance? Or are you looking for opportunities to better the opportunity that you already have? These are the questions that we are talking about tonight. Thinking about our thinking. Like, really sit down and think about, how do you think? What's your line of thought? When it comes to issues, finances, what's your line of thought? Do you feel that you don't have money because the Kikuyus are the president? They're the ones who are in the presidential seat. Do you think that you don't have money because you don't have a craftsmanship like a particular tribe or a particular community, that you cannot be able to panel beat a vehicle the way a particular community panel beats those kind of things? Do you think that you're disadvantaged because your family is not part of the dynasties? These are the things that we are asking ourselves in our self-assessment talk today. And I want you to take a pen because I am a coach and I love to coach. So I want you to take a pen and write down these things. Write down these things so that you can ask yourself, how do I think about money? So we are talking about self-assessment. My apologies for that. Internet issues and live shows, we experience some of those challenges. Yeah, and there. So we were talking about thinking about our thinking. What do we think? How do we think? And why do we think the way we think? I know it's very interesting that most people think that they don't know why they think the way they think. I don't know whether you've ever wondered why you think the way you think. When you think about thinking, have you ever wondered, why do I think in a particular way? How do I look at life this way? Today we are learning about self-assessment, looking at yourself and looking at your life, at where you're at and where you want to be in life and where you want to go and why you are at that particular place. So the question we are asking ourselves is, why do you think the way you think? Do you know why you think about things the way you think about them? When you think about marriage, let's talk about family, a family setting. Did you know that the way you are brought up, whether you are brought up by a nuclear family where there is a father and a mother and children, in an ideal nuclear family, which is functional, the father does their fatherly role, the man roles, and the woman does their motherly role, which are the women roles. And then life, you grew up in that kind of a setting, your line of thinking is totally different from somebody who was brought up by a single parent, either a single father or a single mother. Their line of thought is totally different from how they think. So we are asking ourselves in our self-assessment talk today, thinking about how you think. How do you think? How do you think about money? How do you think about family? How do you think about spirituality? And what elements are coming into play into that? There are people who don't believe in Christianity. Why do you think that way? Why do you think that Christianity isn't something that you should value or something that you should incorporate in your life? There are people who don't believe in sharing because when you are growing up you are taught, usipe huyo anataka sana, usimpe, usimfanye, all those things. So we are looking at a self-assessment, and our first assignment tonight is to look at how we think. So I want you to take a pen, because I am a coach and I love to coach, and sit somewhere and ask yourself, how do I think about money? How do I think about investments? What's my line of thought when it comes to investments, when it comes to money, when it comes to progressiveness in life? How do I think about these things? What plays through my mind? And that will help you assess your line of thought, because the mind is a powerful thing. The other thing that we are going to learn about self-assessment is the word persistency. Woo! And yesterday, during the Responding to Life show, we talked about different personalities. And we said one of the personalities is very affected by persistency. And one of the personalities that we mentioned yesterday was a sanguine. These are people who are very playful, they are very motivated, they are very social. So they really lack the persistency because they cannot concentrate on one particular thing. So when you're looking at yourself and looking back at your life and doing a self-assessment, the question you are asking yourself, am I persistent? Am I consistent? Do I keep pushing until something comes out? Or do you knock the door twice, and if somebody doesn't respond, you walk away and you forget about it? Do you attempt something, and when it doesn't work out for you, you say, I wasn't even cut out for this. Even my family, we don't get PhDs and we don't graduate to this level. Are you persistent, consistently persistent in the things that you do? And what's hindering you from being persistent? The question, we started with saying that we are looking at the way we think and why we think the way we think. So when we think about persistency, what's standing in your way and preventing you from being persistent? I want you to go to the comment sections and tell me, are you surprised, or are you wondering, what is Nokabi talking about when she's saying, I think about how I think? Then when you're talking about persistency, do you see persistency in your life? And I know guys who are employed, they'll say, hey, Nokabi, I'm very persistent. No, you're not persistent. You just wake up in the morning, you go to work, you report to a job you hate, you can't stand your boss, you can't stand your immediate supervisor, you don't even like selling onions, you don't even understand why people buy those onions, but consistently every single day you wake up and go there. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a dream and a vision, an aspiration, something that comes, that bubbles out of you, and you're persistent about it. For example, I want to talk about a musician. You've been turned down by this particular studio, but you're still writing songs, you're still hoping to produce. I want to talk about an actress. You've approached this particular people who are these theaters, this place, these people who have shows that you feel you can participate, that you can do something, and you've been turned down one after another, one after another. How persistent are you? This is the question we are asking ourselves tonight, doing a self-assessment. Then we move on to our third point. We are talking about being open to continuous learning. And I know somebody is thinking, so Nyokabi, how has a self-assessment got to do anything with continuous learning, or being able or be willing to consistently learn and know something new? Well, if you're doing a self-assessment, it means you're looking at your IQ, which means that you're growing. The brain is a muscle, just like this muscle we do here. If you want to develop a muscle, if I flex like this, I have a muscle here. It means that I have to go to the gym and work out and lift weights. So the brain is a muscle. So what that means, you have to keep reading to exercise the muscle, to increase your general knowledge, to improve your IQ in a particular area in your life. So when you're talking about a self-assessment in terms of being open to continuously learning, is increasing your IQ by diversifying, developing emotional intelligence. And somebody might wonder, wow, emotional intelligence. What does emotional intelligence mean? Emotional intelligence means that you are able to handle situations the way they are, and you're in sync, or you're in tune with the emotions that come with it. For example, when it comes to grief, you are okay with going through the stages of grief, and you are in terms with it, and you're aware that I'm angry because I did not expect this person to pass on. I am still in denial because I just spoke to them a few minutes ago. So why would anybody tell me they are not here anymore? So, and then you get to a place where of acceptance, you begin to say, okay, this person has been gone for a year. It's time to move on. It doesn't mean that you no longer value them. It doesn't mean that they no longer play a key role in your life. It just means that you have accepted the situation and you're slowly, progressively moving forward from that place. That is what emotional intelligence is. When you're in a relationship setting and you're feeling angry, you can quickly articulate why you're feeling angry, expressing your feelings. That is what emotional intelligence is. Expressing your feelings in a way that is not disrespectful to your partner, is not offensive to the person who you're expressing your feelings to. You're just trying to explain why you feel the way you do. So when it comes to self-assessment, you must be somebody who is consistently open to learning new things. If you get challenged by your boss and they tell you, Nyokabi, you've done this presentation consistently the same way, do you go saying, huyu ananionea, hata anitakiangi mazuri, hata nataka nifutwe kazi? Or do you say, this is an opportunity for me to learn a new skill on how to do my presentations? These are the three major things that we will be talking about tonight. We'll be focusing on each one of them at a time. And now, if you remember, our first focus point was thinking about our thinking. The first thing we want to talk about in thinking about our thinking is to answer this question: identifying what you know and what you don't know. When you're thinking about your thinking or your line of thought or how you think, it is important to identify what you know and what you don't know. It is very easy to assume you know everything. And I have a statement that I learned from my brother some time back. He used to tell me, Nyokabi, you know nothing, and the nothing you know it the wrong way. And I used to find that to be very interesting. And whenever I would hear people talking about me in the background, or they're gossiping me, or they've made assumptions or conclusions about me because of particular things or the way they perceive me or their own limitations, the best way I would respond to that is that I would tell them, you know nothing about me, and then nothing you know it the wrong way, to help you get to the place where you identify, what do I really know about this particular dream of mine? If you're an actor, what do you know about acting? If you're an artist, what do you know about artistry? If you're a musician, what do you know about music? Which instrument do you play? How, with the inspiration of writing and the craft of writing music, what do you know about it? And what don't you know about it? When it comes putting those things aside and coming to the real life, you think about a family setting, relationships. You find yourself in this particular family wrangle consistently. You're fighting with your partner, you're fighting with your loved one, you're fighting with your children, and you're wondering, why are you fighting? Maybe what you need to do in a self-assessment test is to sit back and ask yourself, what do I know about this particular situation? And what don't I know? Because in life, we have 4 boxes. There are things that are known to you and known to others. There are things that are known to others and not known to you. There are things that are known to you and not known to others. And there are things that are just known to God only, and all of us don't even know what they are about. So it is very, very important for you to be intentional about finding out the difference between what you know in terms of factuality. It is a fact. It is not an assumption that you have made in your mind, right? You've not assumed that Nyokabi didn't pick your call because she's ignoring you. You've called Nyokabi and you've confirmed that Nyokabi didn't pick your call because she was ignoring you, or because she was in a meeting, or at that particular time she wasn't in a space where she could handle the conversation, right? So you know what you know. Then you're able to tell the difference between what you don't really know. Right? So what you don't know, you clarify. So these are the things we are talking about when you talk about self-assessment. The other thing that we want to learn about tonight is asking yourself, what new skills have I learned? And beyond learning these new skills, am I practicing the new skills that I've learned? You know, it's one thing to know one skill. It's one thing to learn how to ride a bicycle, but are you practicing to ride that bicycle so that you can become better at that particular skill? So when you're doing a self-assessment, you're asking yourself, what new skill have I learned? For the last 5 months, for the last 3 months, for the last 2 months, for the last 1 month, what new skill have I learned? If you're experiencing, again, I come back to a family wrangle, have you learned the skill of communicating? It's not really about the other person, because a self-assessment forces you to look back at yourself, to reflect in the mirror and demand more from yourself, demand more participation and line of thought from yourself than from the other person. So it provokes you to ask yourself, am I communicating better? And how can I communicate better? These are the skills that I'm talking about. In your line of business, if you keep doing the same things, you will keep getting the same results. But if you try something different, maybe, just maybe, you might get different results. What do I mean by that? If I keep selling oranges to people who don't want oranges, I will always end up with rotten oranges. But what if I assessed the business and sat down and asked myself, why do I always go back with oranges, but the tomatoes always end? It means that the market at this particular point isn't interested much in oranges, so I can reduce the quantity of oranges and increase the quantity of tomatoes, because it's the product that is moving through an assessment, so that now I can reduce the loss that I'm incurring with the oranges and increase the profit that I'm making with the tomatoes. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Let me know in the comment section right there the skills that you're learning when you're doing a self-assessment. It is important to always challenge yourself to learn something new. It is very important to challenge yourself to acquire a new understanding, to acquire a new vast knowledge. We are learning so much today. I want to see what's happening in the comment sections before we continue with what we are learning today. So I'm heading over to the comment section to welcome each and every one of you for joining me tonight. My name is Nakabi DK Kamal, and I am an all-time relationship coach. So we have Marioki here who is saying that that self-assessment to me implies comparing goals with current progress to see if you are moving in the current direction. Thank you so much, because I had asked, what is self-assessment to you? When I say the word self-assessment, what comes to your mind? And I like the definition that you have given us, that self-assessment to him or to her is it implies comparing goals with current progress to see if you are moving in the correct direction, or to see, actually the word progress really covers what a self-assessment is, looking back and seeing. So we have Jacob here who is saying that I think self-assessment is just checking your progress, whether you have met a target or not. And I like what you have brought in, Jacob, the aspect of meeting a target or not meeting a target. The thing about these targets is that people feel, if I set a target and I don't attain it, then I have failed, which is not the case. If you set a target, then you don't achieve it, it either means that you need to reduce what needs to be done, the target itself is a bit high, or you need to increase the effort, which I'll be talking more about it as we continue in this conversation. So these are the things we are talking about. A self-assessment requires to looking back at your life and seeing, I came from kindergarten, I went to primary school, I went to high school, I went to university. Or if you haven't gone to university and you've been working for the 2 years, what have you been doing with your money that has stopped you from going to the university? We have Winnie who is saying, knock, knock, who's there? Knock, knock, who's there, Winnie? Who's there? Is it the pinky, or it's the Mr. Monkey, or it is who? Let me know who's there. Welcome so much, Winnie. Thank you for joining us. We have Winnie again who is saying, Susie, kuja huku, karibisha wote, invite all of them. Let them know that we are here talking about self-assessment. You can also share the link on your Facebook wall and let everybody come. I see Victoria in the comment section who is saying self-assessment is quite important when you wish to be a better person. Absolutely. If you desire to relate, to have better relationships, to build meaningful relationships, to build meaningful business partners, it is very important to look back and do a self-assessment of yourself, not look at the other person. What the other person is doing is really, for me, I say it's really neither here nor there, because there's very little you can do about what your wife is doing. There's very little you can do about what your wife is doing, right? There's very little you can do to control how your uncle chooses to behave, or your auntie, how they choose to carry themselves. But there's a lot about how you can do, there's a lot about what you can do about yourself, and those things come from doing a self-assessment. So I like, and that's why I always say we are all responding to life and not reacting to it. I have Victoria who is saying that I love it, you felt different results, you find different results when you do different things. Absolutely. When you do something different, you definitely get different results. If you keep doing the same, yes, you get different results when you do different things. If you keep doing the same thing, my friend, you will always get the same results. And that is absolutely amazing. We have another comment right here from Victoria who is saying, you become a better person by doing a self-assessment, and therefore you know where to do something different, where to change, what to change, and when to change it. And I want to ask you a question, and I want you to comment in the comment section and let me know. If you don't do a self-assessment, if you don't do a self-evaluation, then how will you know which areas that you need to do something different? How will you know which areas in your life that you need to change? If you don't look back and ask yourself, why am I always arguing with everybody in the office? Why do I always feel like everybody hates me everywhere I go? People can't stand me. People are always shouting at me. People are always ignoring me. I walk into a room and people walk out. if you don't do a self-assessment, then you become blind to the obvious. Right? You become blind to the obvious in the sense that you don't know what to do with these particular scenarios. Oh my goodness, we have Victoria who is saying, you look gorgeous, love. Oh, thank you so much for the compliment. Oh, my goodness, I do look gorgeous, don't I? So let me know there in the comment section what exactly you think about the topic we are talking about today. I have Jacob who is saying, I am confused. What are you confused about, Jacob? Jacob is saying, I am confused. We are told never to give up, and practice makes perfect. But also, if you do the same thing, you will get the same results. Now, let me explain something for you. Allow me to break it down for you, Jacob. Mama, break it down for you. What you mean by you're saying you're confused, never to give up on something. I want to illustrate what I mean by if you do the same thing, you'll get the same results. Take somebody who wakes up every single morning at 4 a.m. to run. And they wake up, they're determined, they want to deal with the issue of weight and fitness. So they wake up every single morning at 4 a.m. They wear their running shoes, they wear their workout clothes, they wear their watch that's going to track how many steps they have made. They take their vehicle. I want you to see the effort that they have put into it, right? And they get to Karura, they park their vehicle, and they begin to run. And every day they have a target to run 15 kilometers. And what I have come to learn about people who run is that you always challenge each other to cover that kilometer you cover a kilometer within 45 seconds to 50 seconds to 60 seconds. That is somebody who is moving very fast. They're actually moving like a bike. But once they have covered their 15 kilometers, their 10 kilometers, their 5 kilometers, their 6 kilometers, they are persistent and they don't give up on it. When they come out of that running track, they get into their vehicle, they drive to the nearest fast food joint. They get 4 sausages, 2 eggs, a samosa, a soda, and right there, they devour. They eat the sausages. And by the way, mark you, hii ni snack ya kuwasaidia wafike nyumbani. I've seen this with people on Kiambu Road at Naivas. Somebody has come from running from Karura at very early in the morning, and then they walk into Naivas to buy 5 sausages, 2 samosas, and I don't know what, and they tomorrow they wake up, they do the same thing, and they're always complaining, I've been running for 5 years. I keep getting the same results. I don't lose the weight. This is what you mean. They practice makes perfect. They run consistently, but there's something they keep doing, the same thing that they're not changing. Either their eating habit, they've not changed the way they eat. Their relationship with food hasn't changed. But when you start to work out and you're looking out for fitness, then your eating should change. So if you're somebody who is looking at losing weight, you need to do a self-assessment of what is your relationship with food. The food you are eating, is it medicine or is it poison? What value is it bringing to your body? Is it helping you achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve, or is it you're stepping 2 steps forward and stepping 10 steps backwards? Thank you so much, Jacob, for your comments. I am liking what is happening in the comment sections. We have Catherine who is saying, hiyo ni reward. Ati umekimbia 15 kilometers, therefore 5 sausages, 2 bacons, and 4 samosas ni reward. Then the whole point of running was for what? Why were you running? You should have just stayed home and eaten your 5 sausages and your 10 bacons and don't complain that you're not losing the weight. You can reward yourself differently. You can make yourself a beautiful smoothie and make it nice with sweet fruits and just let that be your reward. You'll get different results. I have Jacob here who is saying, thank you so much. They have noted what I've talked about. Excellent. I appreciate each and every one of you. I have Victoria hapa anasema, umeenda wapi Victoria? Umeenda wapi Victoria? Victoria anasema, yes, exactly. Especially kwa hiyo point ya workout. If you're trying to lose weight, check your diet, check your blood type, check all those things. Do your self-assessment. Ask yourself, why isn't it working? Have you been doing the same things? We have Victoria who is saying, if you don't, then you are basically operating on a chaos mode. Quite often on victim mode, thinking that everyone is against you and that you are being attacked. You will always point fingers at people. You stay close-minded, thinking that you know it all, therefore not open to the better, which is quite a shame. And sadly, I know such characters. Absolutely, I know them too, Victoria. These people who never do a self-assessment. They don't ask themselves why, if they walk into an office, everybody walks out. Nobody tells you their secrets because you're not capable of keeping any secrets. And if you did a self-assessment, you would know. If everybody around you keeps on saying, oh, Nyokabi, you're loud. Palipo na moshi. Apakosi moto. So it is very important that you, as an individual, you do a self-assessment. So we are here, we were talking about learning new skills and practicing the skills that we learn. It is so important to practice. If I went to a driving school today and I learned how to drive and I never practiced, do you know that I'll forget? I might get the license to be a driver, but because I haven't practiced, the day that nitachukua hiyo gari, mimi na Lana hatuna tofauti. So it is very important when you learn a new skill that you practice that skill and perfect it and improve it and keep growing it and developing it. Now, I want to give you an example when I'm talking about new skills. I like to use artist. For example, there's somebody who is naturally funny, right? If they come here and they're talking about something, everybody is just ha 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 hoo hoo ha ha ha. And one way or another, they get a platform to do the same. If this person does not learn a new skill, maybe watch stand-up comedians, how they present their content, how they present their jokes. This person will always say the same thing the same way consistently, and it becomes funny for a period. And after a while, you stop being relevant and people totally forget about you because you have refused to learn a new skill. You have refused to back up your talent with knowledge. So it is very important to have talent. It is a good thing to have talent. We salute that you have talent, absolutely, and you have identified that you can sing, but also learn the right way to exercise your vocals, learn the right way to open your vocal range and all those things. Learn new skills and practice them. What you're shouting, la 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 la. Practice those skills. So let's talk about this thing. So once you have done this thing, then we move on to our next stage of self-assessment. Learn. By the way, the best way to know that you've done a proper self-assessment is to rate your confidence level. If you're going to do a presentation and you're feeling goosebumps and you're feeling, oh my God, those are normal at the start of it. But when you get into it, you should settle down. When you get into your element, things should calm down and you begin to be in control of what you are doing. So if you rate your level of confidence, and the way I like to do a level of confidence is 0 to 5, 0 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. So if I can get the in between, a 3.5 or a 4, I know, kudos, I'm doing good. And one of the things that I came to realize is that when I'm doing a live training, at the beginning, I sound a bit shy, I sound a bit low, but when I get into it and I realize, oh, damn, I know this topic. Like when I'm doing personality trainings, I'm like, ooh, the confidence is here because I know what I'm talking about. So one way you know that you've made a self-assessment is to check the rate of your confidence. At what level are you? If you know you have done a self-assessment, you have put your best in that relationship, your confidence is up. But if you uko na kadoubt kidogo, uko na kadoubt, it's like a small doubt is disturbing, a small doubt there, you're thinking, oh, maybe this person might not, maybe. It means haujafanya self-assessment, haujaangalia some of these things. But I want us to get deeper into these things. We are talking about self-assessments. We are asking ourselves the importance of self-assessment and how does it play a key role in our lives and how can we benefit from self-assessment? Woo! Let us continue. So how do you go about doing a self-assessment? How do you go about it? That's the question we're asking ourselves. Hit us in the comment sections below and let me know. Have you ever done a self-assessment? Maybe a self-assessment in your spiritual walk. Maybe you wanted from this particular point to be at this particular point in life. Spiritually, let's talk about matters understanding the Bible or the Quran. Let's talk about matters understanding your faith. What is your statement of faith? What is your doctrine? If you cannot answer these questions, you have not done a spiritual assessment of yourself. You go to a particular church every single Sunday. You're a stout Catholic, you're a stout Anglican, you're a stout Presbyterian, you're a stout whatever denomination that you go to church with. And if you don't know what is your statement of faith and what is your doctrine, you have not done a spiritual assessment of yourself. You have just been following like a sheep, because you found your grandmother and your mother wanaendanga kanisa huko. Hebu tuende huko kwa comment section and let me know, do you know your statement of faith, your church? What do you believe in as a church? Your church is founded on a belief. It is founded on a doctrine. What is that doctrine? Can you articulate it? Can you explain to me why you're a Catholic? Can you explain to me why you're an Anglican? Do you know why you're a Presbyterian? Or is it because that your parents raised you and brought you up as from a certain denomination? Can you articulate? Then that means you need to sit back and ask yourself, why am I a Protestant? My goodness, what am I protesting? You know, you've been a Protestant your whole life and you don't know what you're protesting. What are you protesting? You know, the other day I was cracking a joke and I was teaching, and we were talking about our statement of faith or our creed, our doctrine in the Anglican Church. And one of the things that we say in our creed, we say that I believe in the Holy Catholic Church. And somebody was asking, but I'm not a Catholic. But I told them, then that means you don't understand why you're an Anglican. An Anglican is a redeemed Catholic. So if you're a redeemed Catholic, then that means you actually believe in the Catholic Church. Is that kukonaka difference kidogo hapo, the separation, but basically the Anglican Church is the Catholic Church and the Anglican Church has come from the Catholic Church. But this person has been an Anglican their entire life, miaka 38 years, and they don't know why the creed says that I believe in the Holy Catholic. Twende hapo kwa comment section. Let me know, why are you a Muslim? Do you know why you're a Muslim? Why do you believe in Allah and not Jesus? Why are you a Hindu? Why do you believe in the things you believe in? Why do you profess and confess and say, I'm this person? These are the things we are talking about. Right? These are the things we are discussing when we say a self-assessment, looking at your life. When you talk about money, again, I just want to mention about money. I'm getting excited about this topic. When you talk about money, when you look at money, how much money is in the bank, and you look at your expenditure, you know, wewe una earn salary ya 60,000, right? Na huyo ni manager. Yo, that is not a joke, my friend. That is somebody who is driving a Subaru Outback, local. Ana earn mshahara ya 60,000. Huyo mtu anaishi nyumba hapa Kasarini. Girishi 30,000. So half of your salary rent. Uko na bibi, uko na watoto watatu wanaenda shule. Half of your salary inaenda na rent. Where do you get the money to do these other things? That is the question. Self-assessment. Where do you get the money to pay school fees? Where do you get the money to fuel your car? Where do you get the money to go to La Cascada La Miguela on Sunday? Where do you get the money to do these things? So when you talk about finances and you say, I don't have money, have you done a self-assessment? Have you looked at how your relationship with money looks like? Do you have a toxic relationship with money, or do you have a healthy relationship with money? Do you see money like this and you get an itch kwenda Kenpiski kukula chai, to reward yourself, to thank yourself for the wonderful work that you have done? Woo! Self-assessment is what we are talking about tonight. Right? So I want to teach you a few things that you can use to help you know if you're doing better or you're not doing better. One of the things that I want to teach us tonight, and I was hoping to share this on the screen, is to look at the level of the task. Look at the level at where you're at. The level you're at spiritually, the level you're at in terms of relationships with your partner. Do you have a conjugal relationship? Do you experience celestine love between each other? You know, do you feel connected with this person? Check at the level, where are you at? And then use your thumbs to score. If you feel you're at a good place, give it a thumbs up. If you feel you're at a bad place, and I'm going to try and share one of those things as I continue to talk. Allow me to share, because we are here learning new skills and learning new ways of doing things. So I just want to share what I mean by that. If you feel that you're at a place where you want to see, how am I performing? How am I doing things? Give yourself a thumbs up or give yourself a thumbs down. If you look at your finances, you look at your expenditure, your income, and you know the way you are supposed to do a budget, income versus outcome, the money that's coming in and the money that's going out, are they working? Are they sambamba? Are they together? Are they together? Ama it's heaven and earth. Let me know in the comment section below. If it is a thumbs up, kudos on you. You're a wonderful person. Nastaki watu wa economist wakuja hapa kujipatia ma thumbs up If it's a thumbs down, you're like Aganyokabi, please let me know in the comment section right there so that we can see how we are performing. If you understand your statement of faith, thumbs up. If you know what is the statement faith of the church that you go to. If you don't know, thumbs down. Assess yourself and see, where are you at? What's the level of where we are at? The other thing that I want to show us and to teach us as we talk about is the learning. You're asking yourself where you are, and I want to use what are they called, traffic lights, right? Traffic lights to illustrate what we mean where you are at as you assess all the levels of your life. I talked about family, I talked about finances, I talked about spiritual growth, I talked about meaningful relationships and authentic conversations. I talked about friends and peer pressure. Where are you at when you assess yourself? Are you at a red? Or are you at a yellow? Or are you at a green? What level are you at? And I want you to imagine this scenario in terms of the traffic lights that you see every single day. Woo, the traffic lights that you see every single day. And ask yourself, where are you in the point ya self-assessment? Umesimama wapi? Umesimama wapi? Uko kipande gani? Uko kipande gani? Uko hapa kwa red? Ama uko hapa kwa yellow? Ama uko hapa kwa go? Check and see, how am I performing? How am I doing? What's happening in all those areas, so that you can know if you're at a stop, if you're a toxic person and you're in a relationships that are toxic. If you're a toxic person, you need to assess. Look at some of these things and know where you stand. Another tip to help you assess where you are at is what we call posters. And I'm looking for it. These are the posters we are talking about. And I also want to share the same here, right here on this screen, to help us see where we stand with that. Like I said, in self-assessment, we are trying to learn new techniques and new skills of doing things and how to do them. So we keep on improving. So here we are. When you're talking about posters and you're doing a self-assessment, you're looking to see, are you still thinking about it? In terms, are you still thinking about why you're a particular person, the way you're a particular person, the way you're ready that way? Or are you ready to proceed from that particular point? Are you ready to move forward? Are you ready to go forward from where you are? When you do a self-assessment, it's good to give yourself these things. Put them up kwa side. Ukiangalia finances, ukiangalia finances, mula, money, unaandika hapo, still thinking about it. When you assess yourself, when you look at income and outcome, zinapelekana na ukiwa kwa income na outcome, hii gross yenye inabaki after all your expenditures and all your bills, is it enough for you to save and do something with yourself? I'm curious to find out what's happening in the comment section right there. So I want to really find out what's happening hapo kwa comment section. So allow me to come there before I give us our final tips, because the show is almost over and I get to thank each and every one of you for joining me. So I have Victoria. Let me start with Victoria. Tukapo. Victoria is saying, if you don't, then we had already done that comment. Thank you so much, Victoria, for that comment. We have a different comment here where it's coming from Catherine Husema. Hiyo ni reward. Hiyo ilikuwa ile ya kuji appreciate time ya chai. Let me see which are the new comments that have come in. Here we are. We have Victoria who is saying, staying relevant in your craft is very important, just as being skilled in your craft. Most artists don't know these things. That's why they keep doing the same jokes. Yani mpaka mnafika mahali, they don't go international, especially our local artists. Bana. Jaribini international. Jaribini. Improve your craft. Improve it and stay relevant. Stay relevant without being... what is the word that I'm looking for? There's a word that I'm looking for. Without being controversial. Stay relevant without being controversial. Stay relevant because of the content. Again, self-assessment, the word is consistently changing, and despite being a fast mover in your industry, you will become irrelevant when competitors bring their A game. Yes, it's very important that you keep, and this applies even to your place of work, not just to artists and artistry. It also applies to people in your places of work. Stop complaining at, oh, this girl the other day she got employed, nimekuwa secretary huku miaka 40 na hata hawajai niongezea msahara, hata hawanirecognize, and wameleta haka kamutu ka miaka 24 wamekafanya manager, sasa kana nituma nikakunywa chai. Hiyo miaka 40 umekaa kwa hiyo kampuni, what have you done? You went there with a certificate. Have you gotten a diploma? Or you went there with a diploma? Did you move from a diploma to a certificate? Did you move from a certificate to an undergraduate? Did you move from an undergraduate to a degree? Did you move from a degree to a master's? Did you move from a master's to a PhD? In those 40 years you're there complaining that wameanza kuajiri watoto wadogo wadogo, hawana heshima, hawajui kazi. What have you done to improve yourself? And you cannot do these things unless you do a self-assessment. So Victoria is saying some applies to relationships. Absolutely. If you get too comfortable in a relationship, thinking that it is okay to relax and become complacent, then you realize that your relationship will die a slow, painful, and natural death. And I think, Victoria, I like that you have brought in this aspect of this self-assessment, because people ask themselves, why do women get married? When you are getting married, when you are dating this guy, you used to wear these two lingeries. You know, you look some type of way. And you used to freshen up, you take a shower before he comes over. Sasa sengenge ni ng'ombe or uhururuto tano tena is what you sleep with. What happened? Do a self-assessment and ask yourself, where did the motivation go? Did you get content in that relationship? Gentlemen, you used to be a perfect gentleman. You used to pick this lady up from work, you take her out to dinner, you know, ukiona nywele imeharibika kidogo na mtumia mpesa, babes, utengeneze hiyo nywele. What happened? Do a self-assessment. How are you playing the role of where this girl is at? Oh my God, Victoria, I love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in the comment section. I have another comment that you're saying, if you do not assess yourself spiritually, you keep being a baby, a Christian baby. In fact, you don't grow. That is why unaonanga wahubiri wengine kwa matanga na kwa harusi, they give you a scripture that does not exist. The Bible says that David walked on water. Na watu wanasema amen na wanapiga makofi. Which David? You are a spiritual baby. Ama unaona mtu mwingine ameambiwa open the book of David, ako hapo kwa Bible anang'ang'ana kufungua the book of David, because you have been going to church for all your life, but you have never really done a self-assessment and seen, how have I grown? How do I understand this doctrine? Do I know what is Christianity? Why do we read the Bible? Why is the Bible the blueprint of Christianity? Why do we believe in Jesus Christ and not in Allah or Muhammad or not in Moses or not in David? Why don't we, as Anglicans, not call David a saint, and these ones, they call him a saint? These are the things, the spiritual checks that you need to do so that you can grow from being a spiritual baby. Mtu akisema fungua the book of David, namwangalia zile za I ain't falling for that. Oh, we have Victoria again here in the comments saying, we're saying today's topic is touching hardening my intestines. Woo! I am telling you, today the topic is on fire. We are talking about things that people don't talk about. I wish we can challenge our politicians on social media to do a self-assessment. You have been a member of parliament for 5 years, for 10 years, for 20 years, for 30 years. What have you done for your constituency? What have you done for your county? What have you done? You're a member of parliament. You're supposed to represent your people in parliament. How many representations have you done? My goodness. You're a pastor, you're a reverend, you're a minister of the gospel. You have been appointed to do certain things in certain places. Do you do a self-assessment? This is a challenge from me to you. Sit back and ask yourself, since you became ordained, either by the people who ordained you or you ordained yourself, you called yourself, since you called yourself, or since you are called by people and they pointed you out and they ordained you as a minister of the gospel, what have you done for the people that you minister to? Do you know what is happening in their lives? What benefit, what mark have you left in the life of those people? When Nyokabi sits back and says, every single Thursday, I'm here talking to you and coaching you on matters relationships and matters life. What impact am I making? What difference is there? I need to do a self-assessment. The topics that I'm bringing in, do they apply? Do the audiences relate with them? Woo! These are the things we are talking about. Self-assessment, self-evaluation, going back and looking at yourself and saying, my goodness, I have been earning 15,000 for the last 12 years. What have I done with that 15,000? Why haven't I grown from 15,000 to 2D, to 2D? Why are you still earning 15,000? Why are you seated there at that Mpesa shop? Hujatoka hapo miaka 40 uko hapo tu kwa Mpesa unasema customer, karibu customer, na kila siku ukienda kufanya hesabu uko na short. Leo ni leo. Today is one of those days when Nyokabi is on fire. Wangare is saying nilijuta as a Presbyterian. Ebu niambie doctrine ya Presbyterians ni nini, by the way. I need to do my research and find out why are Presbyterians. But most importantly, hapo kwa comment section, niambie what Protestants are protesting. What have you been protesting for all your life, my friend? Ulijuta nini? Si ufungue, tuambie, tupatie details. Tupatie Boshene mama. Tell us, ulijuta. What did you see that we have not seen? I have Victoria there on Facebook who is saying, Aki Nyokabi, you made me miss my bus. Aki, I'm so sorry, sweetie, because the topic is on fire. And today we are talking about self-assessment. And anybody who wants to grow, progressively grow and improve who they are. By the way, Victoria, I've realized nimefanya miss basi mara mbili leo. Asubuhi na saa. We need to assess our relationship. It's very toxic. We are not helping it. So we have Catherine who is saying that anasema, I don't believe because I don't have faith in Jesus. Mohammed na wengine. Wow. Why? Catherine, why don't you believe in Jesus? Is it because the doctrine is not consistent? Or when you look at the story of Jesus and you look at it, some things don't make sense to you? Why is it? It's not enough to say, I just don't believe. It is always good to back the why with information. My goodness, I'm loving the conversation of tonight. Woo, we are almost past time. Kwarakisha. Kuna Jacob anasema hapa, tuma pesa atoe. Tumia pesa ikuzoee. Jakupu. Tumia pesa ikuzoee, my friend. Ndio maana unaishi nyumba ya Giridhate na uko na 60,000 mshahara. Utajua ujui, my friend. You will get to miaka 50, unaujiuliza why are all my people living in their houses na mimi ninakomboa bado. We have anasema, hey Nyokabi, when it comes to spending money, I'm telling you, most of us make wrong choices. Absolutely. We spend more than we earn. I call it misplaced priorities. Unapata mnasharehe ya 70k, ulipatiwa rent ya 30k, shopping ya 15k, etc. Unafanya hesabu unashindwa hiyo pesa imeenda wapi. I'm so glad tonight that the topic is relating with you and you can relate with me, and thank you so much for joining me in the comment section. Anasema most people hutumia financial illiteracy. Oh my God, I love you Wangari. Financial illiteracy. Woo! Hiyo ndio tunatumianga. Nobody ever decides to consult an advisor, a financial advisor or a money advisor. Uko job na matuda. You cannot show for it. You cannot show for it. Not even with the clothes that you're wearing. Not even with the clothes that you're wearing. We have Robert who is saying #relationships, your all-time relationship. Nyokabi GK Kamau. Thank you so much, Robert, for joining me. We have again Robert who is saying, ukapi Robert, nimekuona hapo mimi niko red. Hapo kwa finances haufanyi vizuri. Very good that you can assess some of those things. Oh my God, my phone is ringing. So here we are. Let's move on. We have Victoria who is saying, haha, yes, you agree with me. Oh, we have assessing, where are we? Assessing these relationships. Yes, assess the relationship, but mostly do not focus on the other person. When you're assessing a relationship, always focus on yourself. Always look at yourself. What role are you playing, in that relationship, and what's happening? Okay, assess the relationship. When you listen, participate kitu gani, una contribute namna gani? Tuko hapa, we are almost done. Unasema Catherine anasema really good topic and practical wisdom. Asante sana, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your presence. I don't take it for granted. It makes this conversation what it is. And some of these comments are the ones when I'm doing a self-assessment, they encourage me, because I know that if I'm not making an impact in 10 people, at least you've made an impact in one person. Woo! Let's go back to what we were learning, because we're about to finish. We are almost out of time. Now, I want us to talk about reflective journaling. We were talking about ways at which that you can assess yourself and see where you are at. One of the ways is to do a reflective journaling. I never used to believe in doing journaling, by the way. I used to be those people who used to think, why do I need to write my feelings down so that somebody else can read them and know what I'm thinking? Especially those deep feelings that are hurtful or those feelings that are affecting you. But the thing that I learned about reflective journaling, and this is going to be my last point as we come to the end because our hour is over, is that reflective journaling helps you not only do a self-assessment, it also helps you do a roadmap of your life. What do I mean by a roadmap? When you do reflective journaling, for example, you're looking at your life today and you're thinking let's say like tonight, I look at my life and I say, 5 years or 10 years ago, 8 years ago, when I started awakening the life within you or the relationship coaching platform, my target was to do 1 to 3 things. And when I look back at that journal, I can be able to see the graph. I can be able to see the roadmap of the growth of how I have come. Where did I meet obstacles? What were those obstacles? How did I overcome those obstacles? It helps you draw a very clear roadmap of yourself. And when we talk about our first point, the one we talked about, thinking about why you think the way you do, and allow me to get it and just highlight it right there. This monotony, understanding why you think about things the way you think about them. When you do reflective journaling, it helps you identify areas in your life or painful things that shaped you a particular way. For example, if you come from a very poor background, it helps you understand why you deal with money the way you deal with money. If you come from a broken family, a dysfunctional family, an abusive family, either physically, mentally, sexually, financial, all levels of abuse, and it's good to identify which abuse in particular that you went through, it helps you understand why you think the way you think about things. If you come from a place where you are forced to be of a particular denomination, and nobody ever gave you an opportunity to question, why are we Catholics? Why are we Anglicans? Why are we Presbyterians? Why are we Protestants? Nobody ever gave you the opportunity to ask. It helps you understand. That reflective journaling helps you understand where you're coming from. If you're in a relationship and you're constantly at loggerheads with your partner, reflective journaling helps you understand. You see that I'm not only at loggerheads with my wife or my husband, I'm also at loggerheads with my brother and my sister as well. And if I can point out what the issue was, right now, if I look at it, it's really not an issue. I'm also at loggerheads with my boss and the secretary or the watchman at the gate. You begin to really do a proper self-reflect. You begin to look at yourself and see, oh, so by the way, watu wakiniambia nakuanga na fujo is not a lie. Because how is it possible that I am fighting with my brother, I'm fighting with my sister, I'm fighting with my uncle, I'm fighting with my wife, I'm fighting with my son, he's currently not talking to me, I don't even know what I did to him. That reflective journaling helps you come in tune, draw a map. It gives you a roadmap of how things are working out for you, where they're not working out for you, so that you know where to make adjustments, where you need to improve, where you need to step back, where you need to increase effort. And for those people who have, because different personalities have different ways of doing things. Cholerics are very ambitious and they're very motivated and they're very moving. Sanguines are too playful. They can play for 10 years, and not do anything with themselves. So when you have a reflective journal, you look back and you say, na nilikuwa nimesema I'll buy a car in 2018. Now we are in 2020. Where is the car? You begin to look at yourself and you wonder, why didn't I? What stood in my way that I didn't do 1, 2, 3 things? If you're somebody who is thinking, I want to build my house at this particular time, I've given myself this grace period, right? And you're thinking, I want to be at this particular place. If you have a reflective journal, you can always look back and say, and I always say, when I talk about reflective journal, I always want to go back to the idea in scripture, because I am a Christian, I am a believer in God, that says, write down your vision. Write it down in script, write it down and highlight it and make known to yourself and to God what you're aspiring to be and where you want to be. Now, I want to just go back to the comment section just before I come to an end, before I thank each and everyone for joining me. I have Victoria who is saying, thank you so much for such a great topic. She loved it and she enjoyed it. I want to thank everybody who was able to join and they enjoyed the topic. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all of you. God bless you. See you on Thursday, same time, same place. Bring all your friends to come and join the conversation, because on Thursday I have another topic that's on fire. Ooh. This topic, I want to just give you a little hint, a little bit of it, just to keep you inspired for what is going to be happening on Thursday. And I'll be focusing on couples and married couples. I'll be talking about guys who are in a marriage setting. Woo! I'll be talking about the garbage man and the bag lady. Woo! The garbage man and the bag lady. That will be our topic on Thursday for couples. If you are a couple, please do not miss. Do not miss. Come join us. Come join me as I talk about the garbage man and the bag lady. Woo! I am looking forward to seeing you on Thursday. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Good night, everybody. Leave your comments down below. Let me know where you're watching from and why you joined me and what inspired you to join me tonight. And I will definitely respond to all your questions. If you have any questions on self-assessment and self-reflection and self-check, let me know. If there's anything I went through so fast, because nakwanga na mbio sijui nakwanga nikienda wapi, let me know in the comment section and I will definitely respond. Good night, everybody. God bless you and love you so much, and see you on Thursday, same time, same place. Oh my God, Victoria, where are you? Victoria! Victoria! Victoria, my darling. Oh my God, Victoria, Victoria.